Yeah, I'm talking about. Depending on the situation.
You're really well. Please.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregations of Central Alabama. Our church, we have a church in Birmingham, but also here in Tuscaloosa. I'm delighted to be your minister, Reverend Julie Conradi, and Steve is our worship associate this morning. We're so glad you're here. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are today and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. To all who are here this morning, welcome home. The prelude prepares us for worship.
Please rise in body or spirit for the lighting of the chalice. Let there be light, the light of joy, the light of happiness, and the light of contentment. May it illuminate our paths and fill our lives with peace. And let there be dark, for it is from our dark places, that we are brought forward, tried and tested, and impelled toward growth. It is in these places that we realize compassion and learn to love. And there was day, and there was night, and there was joy, and there was sorrow, and it was good. And there will be light. You can't just speak it the way it is in them. All right, let me make sure I didn't.
Is there a smoker in?
Okay, no, it is on. The safety or whatever's on. There we go.
There we go.
In the spirit of inclusivity and welcome, please take a few moments to greet those around you, especially those you may not recognize. Morning. I practiced it. Please remain standing, in body or spirit, and let's sing together our opening hymn, which is in the paperback hymnal. It's number 1008.
Sounds like a big song.
Number 1008. Please be seated. Our church is supported by those who call our church home and by those who support the efforts of our church to change our world for the better. If this is your first time with us, please let the plate pass. We're just glad that you're here. We share our cast plate every Sunday with organizations whose work reflects UU values, caring for marginalized persons, advocating for real and systemic change, defending our environment, and promoting justice and equity for all. Today's Share the Plate organization is Black Warrior Riverkeeper. Thank you for your generous support of our church and our Share the Plate recipient. Through the intentions of our hearts and the work of our hands, our love is made real. Thank you for these gifts. When we gather in loving community, we remember that we do not travel this earth alone. We share our lives as we light candles and hold each other in meditative thought and reverence. We invite you to come forward and light a candle from the common flame. You may do so in silence or speaking into the microphone. You may give your name and briefly share a milestone from your life.
Good morning. My name's Monty, and I have a great joy. Reverend Julie knows this story. Yesterday, first of all, I want to say this for all the teachers in the world. My teacher, Miss Reynolds, when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, in the 50s really inspired me, and I was a bad little boy. And she was a tiny little thing, but boy, you didn't mess with Miss Reynolds. And she taught civics and history and so forth. And I think that's where I got my joy for it. So my joy yesterday was Dr. Robert O. White, who's a full-blooded Black Indian, came to visit with us, Maya and myself, down in Greene County at the Black Warrior River. And I have had this piece of property that I came across about 57 years ago that it's kind of a complicated story, but it sits right on top of the Smoky Mountain National Park. You can see the park, and you can see it all the way into the Tennessee Valley from the same spot. It's a beautiful place. And I've been trying to figure out what to do with this piece of property that's bordered on national park land and preserved property. And now I've found a place for it. And It's going to become a ceremonial site for Cherokee and other Native American people. So Dr. White came to visit with us in Utah yesterday, across the Black Warrior River on his way, of course, which is right next to Utah. And so I said, you are the new, or one of the new 22nd century Black warriors.
My name is Ron Buta. As in, my name is Ron Buta, as in, you know. I've started a project that I worked on over 20 years ago, called The Adventures of Twirly and Windy. And they're tornadoes. Here, I have sketched a rough idea of what Twirly might have looked like. She was that's Twirly. No, I'm sorry, that's Windy. You gotta keep things straight. Here's Twirly. They have boyfriends named Edgar and Peabody. They're hurricanes. And now the hurricanes, they have to use up more energy, and so we have to have a balance between these two types of tornadoes, or what would you call them? Storm phenomena. So I'm starting to work on that with mine. We should have fun coming up with ideas of what to do with this. But one of the reasons I want to do this is when people saw dust devils on Mars. Dust devils are dry tornadoes, so we can't know anything. Well, anyway.
My name is Amber Shelton, and we haven't been here for a while, but I've been going through some concerns and worries. I'm gonna light my own special candle, and then I'd like to light another candle because Saturday is our 10-year wedding anniversary. That is exciting.
My name is Matthew Shelton, and I just wanted to say something. You know, throughout my life, I haven't made very good decisions and everything, but 10 years ago, I made the best decision in the world, and that was asking Amber to marry me on Valentine's Day. And here we are. I just wanted to say she's made me feel awesome. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Mary Reese Freeman, lighting a candle of joy that I made it through another whole week of Cameron. But don't stop praying yet because I have 3 days this next week. And also another big joy for me that's kind of silly, but as you know, I love playing cards. And I've been doing the classes, and my class already has 14 paid participants. So actually had a couple people ask, and as they were trying to do their registration online, and said, well, I don't know what it's called, but it's that card thing with Mary Reese Freeman. That's the class I want.
My name's Rick Drake, as everybody pretty much knows. This is to remind people, and hopefully we can get something started. A few weeks ago, I mentioned that it would be very good to have a group of people who are single and live alone to at least communicate once a day or once a week, depending on where they are. And I have a group in Texas that I still communicate with. One's at home in the travel trailer, dealing with all the heat of Texas, and the other just went into a rehab nursing home, which I continue talking to every week. To me, it's important that we connect with each other, especially since I was just in the hospital for 18 days. It came across very strongly that, hey, this could be it, this couldn't be it, whatever. And so to me, it's important. A few of us got together already, but for those who would like to possibly get together and at least call each other at least once a week or earlier, I think it's important.
So I'm Sue Blackshear, and I want to second what he just said. I was going to come up here before Matthew and Amber came just to say it's so wonderful to see them again, it's wonderful to see all of you. But it's just I've just really missed these guys, and so I just wanted to let them know.
Yes, I agree. So much I agree.
I want to third what Rick said and also encourage you all to include me in the loop when folks are in the hospital, because I had no idea Rick was in the hospital. So include your minister in these lovely tidings. But I also want to light a candle for the continued health and vitality of this congregation. It's so great to see so many of you here today, and especially your individual health. I have 4 memorial services in Birmingham over the next month. So I really need everyone here to stay healthy and to forgive me if it takes me a little longer to answer your emails, because it is an extra heavy load to do a memorial, much less 4 of them. So it's so good to see all of you, and I'm delighted to be here this morning.
I'm going to light a final candle for all those burdens and celebrations that went unspoken today. May the warm light of these flames bring us peace. Oops, and that one went out. Let's see if it'll relight. You don't have to stand for this.
Let us enter into a spirit of prayer and meditation together. I'm inviting us to participate in a little grounding. So put your feet on the floor if you can. Put your hands on your knees or on your heart and take some deep breaths together. Today's meditation is from the Rig Veda of Hinduism, one of our many sacred texts here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation. It is one line that I'm going to repeat several times, and I'm going to ask you to include yourselves in a moment. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Think about all of the vast beings that includes. Our human friends, our animal friends, our plant friends, beings beyond our own world. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. You might be thinking there are some beings you don't want to be happy. And I invite you in the next couple of breaths to do your very best to wish them happiness despite that. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. What does it mean to wish for the happiness of others? What does it mean to wish for happiness for ourselves? Now say it with me. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. One more time. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us take a moment of silence together. Amen and blessed be.
Amen. Blessed be.
Would our beloved baby being dedicated this morning come forward? You all are going to be so glad you're here today. Do you want your family to be with you? Yeah. Maybe for you, if you want. Are you ready for this? I'm trying to stay by the mic so people can hear me. Beloved friends and family, we have been brought together by Beverly for a joyous occasion to recognize and welcome Beverly into this world and into this circle of love. Every day that every child is born is a miracle, an opportunity to recognize the power of love, a day to give thanks for the beauty of the earth, a day to recognize that no one is brought up alone, and that every person born is a savior to this world. Welcome to this circle of love as we work to dedicate ourselves and each other to the care and tending of Beverly. We recognize all who have gathered here now and those who are away from us in distance and time. We honor the ancestors who have left this world but not our hearts, and we welcome them here in our minds. We begin with a poem by the poet Hafiz. What is the root of all these words? One thing, love. But a love so deep and sweet it needed to express itself with scents and sounds and colors that never before existed. Dear parents, What name do you give this beloved child? Does she have a middle name?
Beverly Josephine.
Beverly Josephine. Are you ready to dedicate Beverly Josephine to this world?
Yes.
Will you promise to care for Beverly, love Beverly with all your hearts and souls? Will you raise Beverly to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to Beverly kindness and courage? And will you encourage Beverly to live Beverly's dreams? Yay. And who are these lovely family with you?
Gigi.
Gigi,
Her Auntie Emily.
Auntie Emily.
And her uncle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Grandparents and elders, aunties and uncles are included as our elders. Will you promise to care for Beverly? Will you love Beverly with all your heart and soul? Will you raise Beverly to love justice and live with compassion? Will you extend to Beverly kindness and courage? And will you encourage Beverly to live Beverly's dreams? Wonderful. And the rest of you, will you promise to care for Beverly? Will you help to raise Beverly to love justice and live with compassion? Yes. Will you extend to Beverly kindness and courage? Yes. And will you encourage Beverly to live Beverly's dreams? If so, say, we will. We will. Wonderful. Let us bless Beverly with the wonders of the earth. Now, this is the part that gets fun, okay? So we're going to do this as gently as we can. So, Beverly, this right here is water. You know what water is? Not quite. We don't drink it yet, but may you always find your thirst quenched. May you know the joy of hard work. May your tears be cared for. May you dance in rain and jump in pools and puddles. Beverly, you are water. We good? We're good. Got through water. All right. Now, because your dear minister has been a hospital chaplain, I'm not going to blow on your face, as my ritual says, but I'm going to ask your parents to. In just a moment, Beverly, this is air. Will one of you blow on her? May your lungs be full of fresh, sweet air. May you know the joy of a good laugh. May you find your voice through song, whispers, and shrieks. And may you have a life full of scents, breezes, and sighs. Beverly, you are air. Here's the fun one. Got to raise her to be a Unitarian Universalist and like our fire, right? Now, Beverly, this is fire. Do you see it? Whoop. There you go. May it remind you of the divine spark of all creation that is in you. May it inspire your commitment for love and justice. May you be kept warm by the community around you, and may all your days be bright. Beverly, you are fire. Yeah. Good job. No burns. And finally, Beverly, this is a flower made from the earth. Yes. May you know beauty. May you know that the earth provides all that you need. Let me tickle your feet. May everywhere you go be blessed by your presence. May your work be a blessing to this world. May all you do bring joy to the world. Beverly, you are the earth. Let me give that to Dad. Friends, it is with great joy that I present to you another gift to this world, a blessing to all of us, and a joy to all who may meet Beverly Josephine. Please welcome her to our community. During our next hymn, we are singing this song to Beverly. So if you would please open your hymnals to, Steve, remind me the number?
1059.
1059. We're going to sing it to Beverly. I'm so proud. Yeah. Oh, bless you. Bless you. I'm so proud.
They've never sung this before. Do you want to do this as a round? It's supposed to be a round.
We can just do it a couple sing throughs, no round.
Don't want to hear it through once?
Please.
May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn, to sing awake the light and softly serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the night. Great job, great job. All right, good to see you.
Do we have a story for all ages? Okay. We're going to read Outside In. And this kind of relates to the school that's starting in Birmingham. I don't remember the name.
Wonderstead.
Understand. Okay. Once we were part of the outside, and outside was part of us. There was nothing between us. Now, sometimes even when we're outside, we're inside. She's outside in a car, inside the car. So I can relate. We forget outside is there. So outside reminds us, it's a big snail. With flashes at the window and slow magic tricks. Big butterfly at the window. It sends the sunset and shadows inside to play. Outside sings to us and chirps and rustles and taps on the roof. Y'all have had squirrels close by. You've heard the tap. It beckons with smells, sun-baked, fresh, and mysterious. Outside feeds us sun, rain, and seeds become warm bread and berries. Outside cuddles us in clothes, once puffs of cotton.
It holds us in wooden chairs that once were trees. We feel outside in the warm weight of our cats and the rough fur of our dogs. There is time to rest and a time to stay fresh. Outside shows us these times. Outside steals inside, a spider's shelter, a boxel bug in the bath, a tiny snail on the kale. Yeah, a snail. Even rivers come inside, cool water rushing, eager to return to the sea. I'm here, outside says, I miss you. Outside waits. And we answer. And that's it.
We help each other learn what is true. Five, six, just a whisper. And you too. I'm so appreciative to Mariah and Troy for letting me do a child dedication this morning. I've been begging in Birmingham for almost 9 years now, and they are so traumatized by, watching other child dedications in other churches. Not that we're judgmental. Ours are a little different, and so we celebrate all of our babies and young ones.
I don't know about anybody else, but this is the first time I've seen one. And I've been watching it in church for 20 years.
Awesome. I'm glad to have that milestone with you, Rick. So if you notice today's sermon topic, you may be wondering why I am choosing today to discuss happiness. We need look no further than the news or our emails or all of the struggles that we're having in the world, going grocery shopping. There's lots of things that deprive us of happiness today. But I think that's why it's so important that we are intentionally cultivating happiness within our own lives, within our congregations, and our greater spaces, because it helps us all as people, it helps us as communities to support and love one another more fully. And that, to me, is what I want to encourage this next year, to fill those spaces between people that Ken has so gloriously filled us with music that represents that this morning. That if we can be happy for one another, if we can be happy with what each other brings to our lives, we are going to find greater happiness as well. As a teenager, one of my favorite ancestral stories was the romance between my grandfather and grandmother. Having known each other since elementary school, they fell in love in middle school, and they remained together until my grandmother's death in 2017. And, their elementary years were not a typical romance, my grandmother would often recall that my grandfather would throw rocks at her as she rode her bike and frequently made her fall to the ground. So it wasn't always pleasant, but there was a lot of familiarity between the two of them and a lot of happiness. Their marriage began in the gift of the Magi fashion, as I was taught growing up. My grandfather went away to college, far away in another state, but he was so lovesick that he dropped out of college to come home and marry my grandmother before she finished high school. At least that's what I thought happened. Until I was much older, and I realized that my grandparents married in late April, and my mother was born in December at full gestational age, which meant there were other motivating factors for my grandfather to come home away from college. What are your favorite stories about your ancestors? We're going to be talking about that a lot this fall in our congregations, and we're going to be lifting up Unitarian Universalists as part of our ancestral heritage. And I have some fun ways that I'm going to introduce that next week. But one of my cherished acts as a minister, believe it or not, is the process of creating memorial services for a beloved person in the congregation. For those of you who haven't attended my memorial services, I write a eulogy of a person's chronological life, including as much as I possibly can to fill out that person's life within our community. And it is not a template. It is not a cut and paste. I can just do the same memorial for every person that comes along. It is a service that is unique to that individual. It's an honor listening to family and friends share those stories as I develop those eulogies. And then somehow I get to present those stories in a memorial service and encourage other people to share their stories. It is the stories that we share with one another that also helps fill the gap. It helps us get to know one another more fully, and it helps us to have deeper relationships. And in the end, I've even had estranged family members share stories at memorials. And the people who share stories unite over those shared stories of the deceased, even if they had not been a part of the original story. In those moments, people feel happiness at sharing some part of their life with the person who is now gone. My grandmother was also a avid genealogist. She was so excited the day that she linked her heritage and could join the Daughters of the American Revolution. Now, you may have seen the Daughters of the American Revolution in the news recently, and I did have some things to say about it as an official Daughter of the American Revolution. And you know, it really is one of these heritage-based groups intent on preserving our ancestral history. And there are many around. This is just one of those different variations. But it's important for us to remember our ancestral history, not only our biological history, but the history that we identify with. Now, my grandmother went to conferences whose sole purpose was to help trace their family tree further back in time. And so when Ancestry.com launched their DNA profiling service, Grandma insisted that we all send in our DNA. Now, I waited for it to go on sale because, oh my goodness, it's a lot. And my DNA results showed definitive ties to my biological family that Ancestry.com could not have gotten any other way. That's a whole story for another day. But I had relatives show up in my profile that didn't know I existed, if that helps. And so that lingering question of where I came from, what my ancestral heritage was as a basic mutt, as my grandmother used to say. We came from lots of different places. Part of it was what people from Ireland had been telling me for years, with my green eyes and reddish hair, that I was from Ireland. Now, my graduate school roommate, her name is Erin Sullivan. Okay, she is 100% Irish. Her grandparents both immigrated from Ireland. She is Irish, but she has black hair and dark brown eyes. I look nothing like Erin. So all of these folks telling me, "Well, you're from Ireland. You look like you came right off the island," is what people from Ireland used to say to me. And I said, "But I'm not like her." So I couldn't quite figure it out until I got those DNA results. And those DNA results showed me that I am a descendant of Ireland, but more specifically of the Vikings who conquered Ireland. And I had some mixed feelings about being a descendant of Vikings. Anyone else? I mean, Vikings, after all, make for some really good comic book characters. They make for good TV shows. But when you think about what they actually did, the pillaging, the looting, the human trafficking, it's a bit much, right? It's not exactly something I was embracing to be a part of. And so while some of that is indeed fact, they did those things, Viking is also a modern umbrella term for a hobby, believe it or not, of some Scandinavian people of various races and tribes who were mostly farmers and only pirated in the winter when they were bored. And shockingly, this also disparages all rumors, but Vikings were some of the cleanest people in Europe of the time. Vikings bathed weekly instead of the usual semi-annual baths of the rest of Europe. So at least they were clean, right? And so imagine my surprise when I picked up the little book of Luca. This very differently spelled word is pronounced Luca. And I picked it up at the bookstore only to discover that the Danish author Mike Viking, I kid you not, that is his name, discussing with mixed pride and horror his Viking ancestry. And I was tempted not to buy the book. After all, I know all I need to know about Denmark. 60 years ago, Denmark created Lego. And for those of you who don't know, I used to work for Lego. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Everyone was always happy in the store, mainly because they were spending lots of money on Lego. But I digress. Viking's first book, Huga, discovers the cozy atmosphere of Denmark, and some of you may have read that book. This sequel, Luca, is subtitled Secrets of the World's Happiest People. And most of you know that the world's happiest people are typically those in Scandinavia. It seemed too good to be true, though. There's something that we must be missing. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. But to my utter surprise, Viking's book is full of evidence-based, research-oriented ways on why the Danes and other Scandinavians, and in general about 20 other countries around the world, are happier than Americans. Viking himself is the CEO of the Happiness Research Institute of Copenhagen. Can you imagine that as a job? One of the studies cited showed that subjects who quit Facebook for a week have measurably happier than those who do not. What does that say? Now, Viking also spoke with great emphasis on our human heritage to couple food with fire. For thousands of years, the campfire was the site of cooking and eating, but also in the telling of stories. Stories about how the world was created, the purpose of humanity, and the role of nature in the world. It would be difficult to find an ethnic group from that period whose community did not revolve around fire. And over time, however, we have separated those two elements of community for efficiency and fuel conservation. Viking's suggestion is simple. Light a candle at the dinner table. It sounds fancy, doesn't it? He took his research-based idea home to his own family, which includes his teenagers who, for those of you who have teenagers or had teenagers, they're not forthcoming a lot. And he found that dinner lasted 15 to 20 minutes longer when he had lit a candle, and that there were increased and deeper conversations among everyone around the table. Now, our UU tradition already has a place for this in our congregations. We light a chalice every Sunday, and we frequently follow it with food, right? We like to keep our traditions alive here. But I loved this concept of taking our chalice or the lit flame into our homes. Those nights when we have the joy of sharing a meal together with others, or even for our own selves in silent reflection, let us light our chalice. Let us make that moment that we all have to do. We all have to eat. Let us all try to make it as special as possible. I recently watched a TikTok about how also the campfire was a source of protection and comfort, because if you have a campfire lit, then the beasts of the world are not trying to eat the people sleeping around the campfire, and that has been something traditionally for a long time as well. So let's think about that chalice light expanding as a protective cover for all of us when we're in this space and for whenever we're lighting our chalice as well. The Native traditions support Viking's work as well. Native gatherings often center around a gathering point. Our cups group often centers around a gathering point. And when the weather and nature cooperate, they often center around that important flame. Native traditions remind us that tribalism can be a force for good, especially when tribes band together for a common purpose. Another key idea in Viking's book is to mentally and physically separate our concepts of wealth and happiness. One person in his book claimed that she spent no money for a year other than for bills and a small allowance for groceries. She did not buy anything that was not absolutely essential. A recent NPR Marist poll found that 60% of Americans with full-time jobs have a second job, and most of them do not even need the money. Now, this poll may have been taken before inflation and all of that, so keep that in mind. But also, that was a recent fact, that there were that many people with second jobs that did not need the money. The pollsters who said that they had this second job claimed that it was the anxiety of possibly not having money alone that drove them to find side jobs. I know. It's ridiculous. So Viking's point is simple. Remove the value and the power of money over happiness. Easier said than done, but something important to think about. But Viking's most enduring point through this whole book is for our need to be in community, our need to have safe places to think, to discuss, to share meals, to learn, to grow. Our need to be around people who can comfort and support and celebrate with us, who can check in with us, who can do all of those things. And our children need to have multiple adults nearby of varying ages who think and look differently than their parents, people who they can trust and talk to and grow up with, people that you can trust to share your values, or at least who will allow your child the freedom to think on their own. How powerful is that? How many of you who have raised children had adults around them who allowed them to be themselves? He spoke at length about intergenerational spaces where young and old live together in harmony, learning from one another. This congregation is one of those spaces, and Beverly is exemplifying that lovely this morning. We all know the importance of finding community. That's what brought all of you here this morning. We are here at this congregation in Tuscaloosa knowing that outside our safe space, a lot of folks don't think like we do. We know that much has changed over the past decade, and the need for Unitarian Universalists to be visible in the community is more important than ever. Pete Hegseth can try to erase us from the list of approved military religions, but that does not erase us. That just complicates it for certain people in our lives. So I want you to think about, when have you connected with a stranger based on what you were wearing? Perhaps it was a sports team. Perhaps it was a place that you had both been to. Perhaps it was a fandom of some kind. Many faith communities wear outward symbols of their faith to signify their membership within the community. And when those faith communities do good works out in the community, the people with whom they ally and the people with whom they help take notice. Symbols work to educate others on our tradition and to bring people together. And together we must work to make our UU chalice one of those symbols, a symbol for hidden Unitarian Universalists in Tuscaloosa to find us, and as importantly, a symbol for marginalized persons to know that we are allies. Our UU chalice began as an underground symbol for assistance during World War II to help Unitarians, Jewish folks, and others escape Nazi persecution. It is as important now as it was then. Millions of people all over our country live in fear for the next tweet, or now Truth Social post. It is essential that we identify ourselves to those in our community that we seek to help and to make connections with in case we need them. We need to show others through our compassion and justice work what living with the chalice means, what being bearers of the flame truly means. And in the lucky chance that all our work is for naught and no one notices, transplant Unitarian Universalists and other free thinkers will also find us, and we can welcome them into our community. Every time I come visit and I come down this stretch of new development, I wonder, are there Unitarian Universalists who have moved across the street and who need that welcome from our community? And as much as I enjoyed reading Viking's book, we are not Denmark. We do not bike everywhere. We do not have free higher education and health care and 52 weeks of free parental paid leave for both parents. We don't even have safe schools. We have much work to do on the social justice front and in the lives of people who are marginalized in our communities. We have work to do including people who have felt excluded. Part of the importance of having a pagan community here in Tuscaloosa is because there are lots of people who live in the broom closet. Maslow's hierarchy of needs reminds us that physiological needs and safety come before belonging and esteem. And many of us may have the privileges where we already feel safe, and we can cultivate happiness in the ways that Viking suggests in his book. But while we do this, while we cultivate our own happiness, we are called to do greater work. We are called to take active steps to help others climb that hierarchy of needs so they too can feel safe and loved and, oh my goodness, maybe happy. It is the core of our faith. Love is at the center. So I challenge you today to find and make and display a chalice in your home. Find and create or wear a chalice as you go about your life outside these walls. Have your explanation ready for when someone asks you, what does that mean? And use your chalice to remind you of our UU values and the part of being a part of this beloved community that you love. We can start by creating safe spaces in our congregations for all persons and using our chalice to light the way. May you find opportunities to cultivate your own inner happiness and to help others along the way. Let us be a beacon of safety and justice in our communities. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, which is number 168 in the hardcover hymnal.
We're going to do another special ceremony this morning. Oops. And we're going to honor the board that has served this past year and also welcome our new board. So I would ask our old board members to please come stand up here if you were a board member for 25-26. Please come up here so we can appreciate you. Yep. You want me to? Oh, please stand on the other side so everyone online can see you. Do the parade. Would anyone like to share what it has been like serving on the board this past year? Anyone?
Anyone? Well, I've enjoyed being on the board. It's been a challenge at times, but it's also been a delight to learn, and I really enjoyed the help that I received from Bobby, from Steve, from everybody really, and so that was really the greatest joy for me, was the cooperation that I had from everybody on the board. That's the most important thing that I can say.
Fabulous. We also had Deb Crocker on the board this past year, and Deborah Hughes on the board this past year, and Debbie Carden. So 3 Deborahs on the board this past year. Yes, it was. It was. So we just want to thank you all for your service. I have a little gift for those of you who are rotating off. It is a meditation book on rest. So we want to encourage our board members rotating off to find rest and joy in their new jobs within the congregation, so that they are not, so that they stay a part of us and continue to find joy being here. So please show your appreciation for our previous board. Those of you who are rotating off may sit down. Those of you who are continuing, stay up. And I need everybody else who is on the board to come up here, please. So Crystal, Monty, Troy, Jim, Martin, Rebecca, and Matthew. I think that is everybody. Great. In a free religious community, to serve is the highest expression of commitment and love. To be asked to lead is the highest honor. And this morning, the members of UUCT have chosen you all to lead in the upcoming year, and the relationship between a congregation and a board is one of deep respect and mutual regard in its best times. You have asked them, you have voted on them to take on the holy work of discernment and guidance. They need you to support them in their work, even if you disagree. And they need you to share ideas and concerns in love, and to offer them trust as they fulfill their office faithfully. The work of the congregation is the work of the people. It is the work of building the world of which we dream. It may require time, it will require time spent poring over budget sheets, hours spent in meetings where small details are hashed out. It may manifest in shared laughter or outright frustration from time to time. But it is always sacred, for it is in pursuit of beloved community. And as a symbol that this work is always shared, we are going to engage in this ritual that always accompanies the installation of anyone into our UU ministry, the laying on of hands. So I would like at least one person to come up and lay hands on the folks gathered here, and the rest of you to lay hands on someone next to you as we share in this transference of energy. So please join hands with your neighbor, place your hand gently on their shoulder. I need at least 5 people to come up and lay hands on our board members that are here. And if anybody wants to represent other board members that can't be here as well. Connect until each is part of this circle of community. Service is an act of faith. Service is done faithfully in love and is the work of community and justice building. This is what you have asked of these people before you this morning, that they serve you faithfully and well. And to do this, they need your trust of support. So I ask now the members of UUCT, will you offer love and trust to your board, responding when they seek your input, showing up when they tell you that work needs to be shared, and listening carefully when they speak of the life of the church? If so, please respond, we will.
We will.
To the members of the board, will you be diligent and faithful in your work, bringing your best selves and practicing self-care and open-heartedness, tending with love the details of the work, and always keeping the goal of beloved community in front of you as you serve? If so, please say, we will. Thank you all. May the spirit of love guide you in the coming year. May a spirit of joy infuse the work you engage, and may your service bless the world. Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. While Steve gets ready for the announcements, I just want to share, for the good of the community, that your board is going to be doing a retreat this Saturday with myself, and we are going to be doing some dreaming and visioning this week. So it's going to be very exciting. Thank you all for your service.
Okay, now is the time in our service when we do announcements. Please check your order of service and e-blast on Newsnet for upcoming events. I have one announcement myself. This fall, we will be joining with UUs across the country in a common read, Love is at the Center. If you'd like to get started in your reading, Reverend Julie, do you have copies? You do have copies, okay. Reverend Julie has copies today. They're $18. There will be sessions on Zoom so you can participate remotely. So let Julie know if you're interested in that. Are there any other announcements? And I can come to you with a microphone if I need be.
Hi, Anna. I just want to remind everybody that the last Wednesday of the month, we're going to be doing dinner out 6 o'clock at Blaze Pizza. And I also want to remind you that on the last Saturday of the month, we'll be in Utah, and I'll send more information out on Newsnet about that this week.
Good morning. I just wanted to let you know that the spiritual growth pillar members have been working to figure out ways that we can bring some additional music into our service based upon things that you've told us you would like. I think that the first strategy is going to be to reactivate hymns that have not been done for a while but are likely to be familiar to people, and then branch out from there to boldly go where no one has sung before. But what I need to know from you is if you are willing to participate in the process of helping us organize and learn those songs in advance of our services so that we don't cause any disruptions to the services themselves. You can do a couple of things. One is you can come up and tell me right today that you'd like to do that, and then say a little prayer that I remember. And you could also find me on the directory if you have access to that, and write me or call me or something like that. We hope to have as many participants as possible. This is a promising prospect for us, so I hope you'll play.
So I announced this last week, but there are more people here this week, so I'll announce it again. I'll be teaching intro to watercolor and advanced watercolor at Para. Para called me and asked me to do that. It'll start September the 2nd for 6 weeks, and then another 6 weeks after that. It'll be on a Wednesday. So 6 Wednesdays, $80. So that will, like I say, that will begin September the 2nd. Another thing I wanted to say, since we're having a potluck, I did red beans and rice, and I was 18 years in New Orleans, and in New Orleans, we put vinegar on red beans and rice, and I brought vinegar, so I just wanted you to know the vinegar beside the red beans and rice is for that, in case you want to do a New Orleans style stuff. One more thing. Next Saturday, from 8:30 until 1, is the Kentuck Art Market, Saturday Art Market, across from the Farmers Market at what used to be the Transportation Museum, which is now owned by Kentuck. And I'll always have a table with my art prints and cards and such there. So I hope to see some of you there.
Just to piggyback onto what Sam shared about
finding new songs to sing. I had planned and will be here after everything ends today. But I'm planning to kind of play around with the electronic hymnal, getting it hooked up on the TV and trying to figure out more. I've been working on it for the last month, trying to get myself more familiar with how to access the material on it in its different forms. It's available in many different forms electronically. And so like I'm trying to find a little bit smoother ways to integrate it to where we can share it like on the TVs and that kind of stuff. So if anyone wants to stick around for that, then by all means, please, you're welcome. I'm gonna be doing it no matter what. So just to try to lock some things down. Thank you.
I have a few announcements. One is, if you'd like to stay around after the potluck, I'll be working on the bulletin boards in the hall, and I'd really like to have some help, but they're very tall, and it really helps to have many hands, honestly. We completed one of the bulletin boards last weekend, so kind of getting a fresh look, which will allow all of the pillars to gather materials and decorate their own board. So we'll be working on some headers that are going to be bold, that'll go along with it, but you're more than willing to start on the bulletin boards as soon as we have those with the backgrounds available for you. And then the other thing is I've ordered some posters for each of the pillars. So there's like a poster that you can add. One of those will be for the common read, which love at the center. So we may be like even setting up an in-person group too that can go along with that read. The other thing is I have a few decorations in my car, and we have more in storage. If anyone would like to come this week and decorate the church for fall, it's time to move into, to decorate. So if anybody's interested in that, I'd love to decorate the church with you. And then the last thing I want to reiterate, the 22nd and 23rd is the Black Belt Roots Folk Festival, and it's really lovely with a lot of music. A large group went last year. We didn't set up a partnership for this time, but a group of us is thinking about going. If you're interested, please email me so that we can set up like carpooling so that anybody who wants to go can go. And then Anna too, if you can email Anna as well. And then the board meeting will be August the 30th at 4 p.m. Okay.
Real quickly, just a reminder, I know I sound like a broken record, but if you would, when you're going through to get potluck, put your name in the places for volunteer, for greeter, to help with the kids, to make coffee, etc. I know that sounds trivial, but that's a way to get involved and help out. Thank you.
Well, now we take our leave. Before we gather here again, may each of us bring happiness into another's life. May we each be surprised by the gifts that surround us. May each of us be enlivened by constant curiosity. And may we remain together in spirit until the hour we meet again. The service is ended. Please stay for the potluck and the other activities that you heard about.